tale? Story. Story. A-A-L-E, tale is story. So this is written by Edgar Allan Poe, a famous writer class. Then he had a lot of literary works, 9 poems, 9 novels, and 9 story pinaki. Ano yung mga write-ups ni Edgar Allan Poe, one of the famous writers, an inspiration to other writers. Yeah, his literary works is a part of literature around the world. Okay, so again, you watch and listen, then read the words with your eyes on it.
True. Nervous. Very, very dreadfully nervous I had been. And but why do you say that I'm mad? The disease had sharpened my senses, not scared, not dulled them. Above all was the sense of hearing acute. I heard all things in heaven and in earth. I heard many things in hell. How then am I mad? Hark, I can observe how healthily, how calmly I can tell you the whole story. It is impossible to say how first the idea entered my brain, but once conceived, it haunted me day and night. Object there was none, passion there was none. I loved the old man. He had never wronged me. He had never given me insult. For his gold I had no desire. I think it was his eye. Yes, it was this. One of his eyes resembled that of a vulture, a pale blue eye with a film over it. Whenever it fell upon me, my blood ran cold, and so by degrees, very gradually, I made up my mind to take the life of the old man, and thus rid myself of the eye forever. Now listen, you fancy bad. Madmen know nothing. You should see me. You should see how wisely I proceeded, with what caution, with what foresight, with what dissimulation I went to work. I was never kinder to the old man than during a whole week before I killed him. And every night, about midnight, I turned the latch of his door and opened it, oh so gently. And then, when I had made an opening sufficient for my head, I put in a dark lantern, all closed, so that no light showed up, and then I thrust in my head. You would have laughed to see how cunningly I thrust it in. I moved it slowly, very, very slowly, so that I might not disturb the old man's sleep. It took me an hour to place my whole head within the opening so far that I could see him as he lay upon his bed. Would a madman have been as wise as this? And then, when my head was well in the room, I undid the lantern cautiously, oh so cautiously, for the hinge creaked. I undid it just so much that a single thin ray fell upon Vulture's eye. And this I did for 7 long nights. Every night's just at midnight. But I found the eye always closed, and so it was impossible to do the work, for it was not the old man who vexed me, but his evil eye. And every morning, when the day broke, I went boldly into the chamber and spoke courageously to him, called him by name in a hearty tone, inquiring how he's passed the night. So you see, he would have been a very profound old man indeed, to suspect that every night, just at 12, I looked in upon him while he slept. Upon the 8th night, I was more than usually cautious in opening the door. I watched his minotaurs move so quickly by the door. Never before that night had I felt the extent of my own powers, of my sagacity. I could scarcely contain my feelings of triumph. To think that there I was, opening the door, little by little, and he not even to dream of my secret deeds or thoughts. I fairly chuckled at the idea, and perhaps he heard me. For he moved on the bed suddenly, as if startled. Now you may think that I drew back, but no. His room was as black as pitch, with a thick darkness, for the shutters were close fastened through fear of robbers, and so I knew that he could not see the opening of the door, and I kept pushing it on, steadily, steadily. I had my head in, and was about to open the lantern, when my thumb slipped upon the tin fastening, and the old man sprang up in bed, crying out, "Who's there?" I kept quite still. over my head. And in the meantime, I did not hear him lie down. He was still sitting up in bed, listening, just as I have done, night after night, hearkening to the death watches in the wall. Presently, I heard a slight groan, and I knew that it was the groan of mortal terror. It was not a groan of pain or of grief, oh no. It was the low, stifling sound that arises from the bottom of a soul and overcharged with awe. I knew the sound well. Many a night, just at midnight, when all the world slept, it has welled up from my own bosom, deepening with its dreadful echo the terrors that distracted me. I said, "You are well." I knew what the old man felt and pitied him, although I chuckled at heart. I knew that he had been lying awake ever since the first slight noise when he had turned into bed. His fears had never since grown upon him. He had been trying to fancy the causes, but he could not. He had been saying to himself, "This is not what the wind in the chimney. It is a little mouse crossing the floor. It is merely a cricket which has made a single chirp." Yes, he has been trying to comfort himself with these suppositions, but he had found all in vain. All in vain, because death, in approaching him, had stalked with his black shadow before him and enveloped the victim. And it was the mournful influence of the unperceived shadow that caused him to feel, although he neither saw nor heard me, to feel the presence of my head within the room. But I waited a long time, very patiently, without hearing him lie down. I resolved to open a very, very little crevice in the lantern. So I opened it. You cannot imagine how stealthily, until at length a single dim ray, like the thread of a spider, shot from out the crevice and fell upon the vulture eye. It was open, wide open, and I grew furious as I gazed upon it. I saw it with perfect distinctness, all a dull blue, with a hideous veil over it that chilled the very marrow in my bones, but I could see nothing else of the old man's face or person, for I had directed the rays of my instincts precisely upon the damned spot. And now, have I not told you that what you mistake for madness is an over-acuteness of the senses? Now, I say, there came to my ears a low, dull, quick sound, such as a watch makes when enveloped in cotton. I knew that sound well, too. It was the beating of the old man's heart. It increased my fury, as the beating of a drum stimulates the soldier into courage. But even yet, I refrained, and kept still. I scarcely breathed. I held the lantern motionless. I tried how steadily I could maintain the ray on the eye. Meantime, the hellish tattoo of the heart increased. It grew quicker and quicker, and louder every instant. The old man's terror must have been extreme. It grew louder, I say, louder every moment. Do you mark me well? I have told you that I am nervous. So I am. And now, at the dead hour of the night, amid the dreadful silence of that old house, so strange a noise as this excited me to uncontrollable terror. Yet, for some minutes longer, I refrained and stood still. But the beating grew louder. I thought the heart must burst. And now, a new anxiety seized me. The sound would be heard by a neighbor. The old man's hour had come. With a loud yell, I threw open the lantern and leaped into the room. He shrieked once only. In an instant, I dragged him to the floor and pulled the heavy bed over him. I then sat on the bed and smiled gaily to find the deed so far done. But for many minutes, the heart beat on with a muffled sound. If this, however, did not vex me, it would not be heard through the wall. At length, it ceased. The old man was dead. I removed the bed and examined the corpse. Yes, he was stone dead. I placed my hand upon the heart and held it there many minutes. There was no pulsation. He was stone dead. His eye would trouble me no more. If you still think me mad, you will think so no longer when I describe the wise precautions I took for the concealment of the body. The night waned, I worked hastily, rather in silence. First of all, I dismembered the corpse. I cut off the head and the arms and legs. I then took out 3 planks from the flooring of the chamber and deposited all between the stones. I then replaced the board so cleverly, so kindly, that no human eye, not even his, could have detected anything wrong. There was nothing to wash out. No stain of any kind, no blood spot, whatever. I had been too wary for that. I tried to call. When I had made an end of these labors, it was 4 o'clock, still dark as midnight. As the bell sounded the hour, there came a knocking at the school door. I went down to open it with a light heart, for what had I now to fear? There entered 3 men who introduced themselves with perfect suavity as officers of the police. A shriek had been heard by a neighbor during the night, suspicion of foul play had been aroused, information had launched the police office, and they, the officers, had been relieved to search the premises. I smiled. For what had I to fear? I bade the gentleman welcome. The shriek, I said, with my own, and agreed. The old man I mentioned was absent in the country. I took my visitors all over the house. I bade them search well. I led them at length to his chamber. I showed them his treasures, secure, undisturbed. In the enthusiasm of my confidence, I brought chairs into the room and desired them here to rest from their fatigues, while I myself, in the wild audacity of my perfect triumph, placed my own seat upon the very spot beneath which reposed the corpse of the victim. The officers were satisfied. My manner had convinced them. I was sitting right at ease. They sat, and while I answered cheerfully, they chanted familiar things. But ere long, I felt myself getting pale and wished them gone. My head ached, and I fancied a ringing in my ears. So they sat and still chanted. The ringing became more distinct. They continued and became more distinct. I talked more freely to get rid of the feeling, but it continued and gained definitiveness until at length I found that the noise was not within my ears. No doubt I now grew very pale, but I talked more fluently and with a heightened voice. Yet the sound increased, and what can I do? It was a low, dull, quick sound, much such a sound as a watch makes when melting cotton. I gasped for breath, and yet the officers heard not. I talked more quickly, more vehemently, but the noise steadily increased. I rose and argued about trifles in a high key with violent gesticulations, but the noise steadily increased. Why could they not be gone? I paced the floor to and fro with heavy strides, as if excited to fury by the observations of the men, but the noise steadily increased. Oh God, what could I do? I foamed, I raved, I swore. I swung the chair upon which I had been sitting and grated it upon the boards, but the noise rose over all and continually increased. It grew louder, 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 and still the men chanted pleasantly and smiled. Was it possible they heard not? Oh, Almighty God, no, they heard, they suspected, they knew. They were making a mockery of my horror. This I thought, and this I think, that anything was better than this agony. Anything was more tolerable than this derision. I could bear those hypocritical smiles no longer. I felt that I must scream or die. And now, again, hark, louder, 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 villains, I shrieked. Dissemble no more. I admit the deed. Tear up the planks. Here, here. It is the beating of his hideous heart.
Okay, so that is the story, The Telltale Heart. Nakikabasa na po last week. But I know, majority of you did not able to read that one. And that was the child, should be right? Okay, now, based on the story, who is the narrator, class? Toledo. Okay, so the narrator is there a named person or the murderer based on the story. Now, based on the story, what drives him to commit such act? What drives the narrator to kill the old man? Emma. Very good. The eyes of the old man. And that's what drives him crazy. That's what drives him to do the biggest act. To kill the old man. Because every time though class, every morning when they have a conversation with the old man, niya makakita siya sa mata sa old man, which is a vultured eye, makapil na rin siya nervous and fear. Makapil siya kahadlok sa mata sa old man. So when we say vultured eye, it's not a vulture. Very good. Baku malanga. It is a bird. somewhat like an hawk, somewhat like an mga lawi. That is vulture. So yung ano daw mga mata sa kagawang, a pale blue vulture eye. Okay, now next. Now based on the story, so let's understand the story more based on the 8 elements of the story or some elements of the story. Let's start with characters. Who are the characters of the story? Who are our examples? Okay, the narrator, the old man, and the police officers, and the neighbors. So those are peripheral characters. The main characters is the narrator himself. The narrator is the main character. Next, setting. What is the setting of the story? Setting, Thea. Okay, the old man's house, particularly at the old man's room or chamber. At his very own room. Dito na itabo ang crime or the story. Then aside from that, what time? Kay Almasen. Midnight. Every midnight for 7 days, the narrator sneaked into the room of the old man. Again po itong observe, just to observe if the old man is sleeping. Naman, because he wanted to cut the eyes of the old man. Yeah, on that 7 days, never man yung nakita ang mata sa old man. Pinag-old man ang old man. Except on the 8th night. Wherein, on the 8th night, ikaw ang nakamata man ko. Okay, next. What is the conflict of the story? Conflict. Conflict. Any other hand? What is the conflict? What's the conflict? Alright, Gregory. What is the conflict of the story? Okay, so that is the conflict of the story. The narrator and his mind. And kung sa may kuha na, kung sa mga turn, kung sa mga type of conflict, there are 4 types. Kung sa mga type. Kung sa mga type of conflict, kasi the narrator na tigali siya kagalingon. Very good, it's man versus self. Kaya dili bansan siya man versus man or protagonist versus antagonist. Because there is no antagonist on the story. What was siya na kontra sa story? Kinsa man? Iya na pa umalingon. His own fears, maoy iya ang kontra. So that is man versus the conflict. What is the theme of the story? Setting, tema, order, mystery, action. What is the theme? Isa man, sa theme. Katawang yan self, nagpipaglaban sa self. Isa man ang defensive. Isa man tawag, nga naman yung addiction sa crime. Okay, the theme of the story class. So we have 3 themes of the story. First is guilt, the feeling guilt. Another is, katong nagpipaglaban siya. Ang sama to? Katong, anxiety ba na? O sa may rason, nanisulti siya.
Kaya nakadungog na siya sa heart.
Oh yeah, because of nakadungog siya sa heart, sa may piktoto. Conscience. Conscience is another theme of the story. And madness. Because the act of doing such thing into a man who is innocent is madness. Okay, then the point of view of this story class is first person because the narrator is the first person of the story. And then the story evolves on the narrator. So point of view is first person. Okay, now let's have the activity, katong plot of the story. Let's check it. plot of the story. How the story started, or what is the introduction of the story? It's a line na yung answer aside na ning duha. How the story started. What is the introductory part? It's a may nag-assign the base ang kabon sa assignment paper. This will be performance. It is part of the story. Katong introduction. Let's have Calzada. What is the introduction of the story?
Position the narrator insists he is not one but suffer from a disease that
Says that
sharpens his especially his hearing. It regards living with an old man with pale blue eyes deeply distorted.
okay, very good. And that's another idea. So the story started with the narrator insisting or claiming that he is not mad, he is not insane, right? That he only did or did that crime or that act because of the vultured eye of the old man. But he is not insane. When we say insane, what's it insane? He claimed on the first part na di siya buang. Wag sa siya kalabot. Katulang yun because of the nervous na yung mapil o sa fear niya mapil sa mata sa biguang. But he is not insane. So that is the introductory part. Then let's have the rising action. The rising action are those 7 nights that he sneaked into the room of the old man. And to plan how to stop that vultured eye. Already told. That is the rising action. How about the climax? What is the climax? Oh, Calvo, climax.
Overcome by terror of fiction, the narrator feels the body from intellectual.
Okay, very good. That is the climax. The night or midnight on the 8th night wherein he killed the old man. So in the 8th night class, same way with the 7 days na nagsige siya sumay sa bansagong sa tiguang, iyan kabiya gamay, but on the 8th night, the old man woke up. Kaya nakaduog siya sa kasikas. Ako'y na may kasikas. Yeah, he also knew that the old man is awake or was awake. Yeah, he can hear the heart beating of the old man na nahadlok dun sa kung mga kasikas. Then the old man also made a sound. Ano pa yan itong mga pagkakaugas balay na kung natin madunggas gawas kayo mag-askit na mata sila. Yan sa ito. So he knew that the old man is also feel nervous and afraid. Yan kasikas na nadunggan. So few minutes after that, he observed, kuminaw naman. Pagkaminaw na, he opened the door, then ay gamay sika gikan sa sugahay nila ang isod, then upon opening that one, nag-abot ka nila ang pananaw. And that what urged him to kill the old man. Because finally, for how many nights, finally, nakita na din niya balik ang vultured eye. And that's what urged him na yung i-drug ang tao dito sa wala drug, hindi R-U-G-ha, na drug, drug. Ay, yan, ikuan. Ikuloy. Yan ang ikuha ang bed. Yan, itabon sa tiguang. Until the old man loses his breath. Yan, begitu nag-check. Yan, di pusuhan. Yan, di paminang Lord. Patay na siya. Wala siya. So what we do? We, as members, yan, i-chop-chop ang lawas. I-chop-chop ang lawas sa tiguang. Then we open the floorboards. Because it's a lang lugar, di there is floorboards. Yan i-open ang ilang ka-part. Ako, kay kasi naman na. Pag-open niya, dito niya gitago ang lawas sa tiguan. If it finishes all the tasks para limpyo ang crime or in the morning. After that, pagbuntag, dahil 3 policemen or 2 policemen na naabot. Because the single screen na gibuhat sa tiguan is nagulog sa iyang silingan. Maybe pag yung sa kuwan, o na, pagbuntag niya sa silingan. So the silingan reported into the police. Police ako. So, upon arriving, wala siya, karakadereso siya. Yung wala may bahid ng malisya ang floorboards. Given a single drop of blood, wala na yung nakita. Limpyo siya tayo ang crime. He even invited the policeman after sa Luzone sa balay. He invited the policeman into the very room wherein the crime happened. Dito sila, nagtabing silang tulog. Then, ang iyang chair, iya magiging position at the top of the floorboards na nakadito. Kanina, ating lakas sa tiguang, sahog ni, nakadiri yung riguan. Sa nagdito. At that very point, ang clerks sa tiguang. Okay, while having a conversation, wala yung suspicion na nakitabo ng police. So, we heard something, a louder something, kaya nakapasakit sa iyang dugan, then he thought na there is something sa nadugan, but it's not. There is something beating. A louder beating. Nanianam, kinukusog ang beating. Na siya mismo natikhawan siya pagbulingon, di pa nimo ko siya kaman. So, mga boys, what is that? Yeah, magdanaw sa mga polis, what ang kadungog, di sila kapil. Isagwa kadungog ang mga polis. But the heartbeat keeps on beating louder and louder. Yet siya na anxious naman siya. Yun naman siya anxiety, the guilt, the conscience, na naman ikaw makabayo sa heart ang iyahang pagdungog. So he admitted the crime. Siya mismo ni-admit sa crime. That is why, so the resolution part is, sa may resolution. So the last part is when he admitted the crime. That is the resolution or the ending. So based on, that is why it is entitled the Telltale Heart. Because the one who tells the story, class, is the it's the one. It's the one made nagpukaw, nag-tell siya pag-bring a story kung what really happened that night. It's the heart. Ang heart ay nagsigig kuhan sa iyang konsensya. Nang imo ko gipatay, na ang gipatay. That is why it is entitled the Telltale Heart. Uy, ana. And that Telltale Heart, class, patay na may tunog, so patay na yung heart sa tiguang. Then, ang patay na itong ganyan sound is the conscience and the guilt. Na ang heart dito, hallucinating na niya ba? Sige, pag-uwi ba ang heart? Bago siya ba? Pagkatuloy na heart ay natugan daw, the something and beating of the heart is his conscience and guilt. Yan, asa man magikan ang atong conscience and guilt? Kisa may unag, kisa may tingog, kisa may mo-reveal if we've done something wrong, kisa may mo-reveal. Sa atong kasing-kasing, sa atong lawas, it's our heart. So try to imagine if we've done something wrong, if we lied to someone else, kulbaan ka, di ba? So your heart is telling you that you are telling lies. That is a telltale heart. It's about conscience and guilt. Okay, sa past, di katong exposition up to the resolution. Kailangan sa notebook, ayaw lang sa akin, mag-checking ka. Itaas sa papel, itaas sa buna, because this is for government. If naka sa papel, isa na yung sa Okay, get the multiple choice questions. Let's check that one that we want to tell. Exchange with your seatmate. Exchange with your seatmate only. Sino sa Okay, exchange with your seatmate only. Would like to answer number one. Okay, Bernie.
Mabantay na ba ka? Pakita mo nga kami.
Okay, Sir C. An named character. Ito ka kulusaga, number two.
Abi. May gloves na namin sa
Letter C. He pierced the old man's eye. Three. Oh, die. Go there. Okay, B. A pale butchered eye. Next, four. Oh, pilapil. Old man's room. Okay, very good. B. Midnight. Five. Makita. B. Seven. Six. Oh, the village. Okay, B. By suffocating. Seven. Oh, kapin. Letter B. Eight. Oh, Barlow. Okay, letter A. A neighbor near a screen. Nine. Alright, Calvo. Okay, D. The old man's heartbeat. 10. Okay, repetition. Because it keeps repeating that he is not insane from the beginning up to the very root of fruition.
Mari pa, si Mau doa malaki.
Okay, we will record that one. Ato sa record, after that, again, kung naari ang atong plan of the story, ipass yung notebook after na mag-record. Number lang ako isulti para madali ka, okay? So you listen carefully. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Ay, check it line. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Girls. 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Ilan mo kayo ma? Please, pass ang notebook sa katong natin Okay, isa may wala sa GC. Please raise your hand. So wala sa GC, so wait. Pero lahat ay account ng cellphone mo. I-add na siya dahil. Isa pa. Lahat ay cellphone yung go.
Legal yan.
Nakay-account ng cellphone. Okay, tawag ako. Ah,